we have ourselves another Hulk video, and you know I'm team don't buff Hulk. He doesn't need a buff. You guys just need to understand how to use him. He doesn't need to be sped up or anything. He actually is arguably overpowered if you understand how he can be most effective, but also from a gameplay standpoint. And in this video today, we're going to discuss not builds in terms of like gear. What we're really going to talk about today is, and we will mention some gear stuff, but mainly it's about heroic abilities. We'll be discussing rage, as well as intrinsic abilities, and how those work as a tandem when it comes to the gameplay. People can give you guys build videos all day long. That can't account for some of the skill element that you're going to have with it. And I want to try to assist you in that regards. I can't play the game for you. Nobody can. So it doesn't mean that it will work for you. But these are some ideas that you can kind of get going. Instead of treating this like maybe let's sort of mindless beat them up, there are things that you can do to be very, very effective with Hulk. So you won't be calling for a buff. Nonetheless, let's get right into it. Let's talk about the heroic abilities. I have discussed in previous videos before, and by the way, I don't play on anything other than brutal. Challenge 4, that's the only difficulty I play on. And we are going to do a gameplay walkthrough here in a little bit so you can see some of this in action. So keep that in mind. That's what we're kind of, that's the setting that all of this stuff transfers over into. Nonetheless, heroic abilities, I do not use them just as what they say, support, assault, ultimate, or anything like that. Yes, you can use them to do that, but you have to understand how those abilities work and how you can use them to your advantage to really do a lot of damage, get out of sticky situations and whatnot. So you know that I have things like this. For example, my assault heroic, I keep multiple ones in the chamber. My heroic rating isn't high at all on Hulk. He doesn't need it to be high. My idea is to, if I'm in a sticky situation, meaning that I'm taking a lot of damage, I pop off one of these. You got like the assault heroic, which will give you 60% maximum willpower of it, so you can get your health back. You also have that slight time, however long that he has to go through the animation of whatever, in which he can't take damage. He's invulnerable when he's doing that for the most part. So you can understand that, okay, yeah, I can use it as an attack, or I can use it to do other things. That's one way that you should use it. Don't spam it. Don't just when you want to do a lot of damage. If you don't have to use it, don't use it. The second way that you can use it when it comes to Hulk and how I generally use them, for example, with my assault heroic as well as my ultimate heroic, I have this idea of that gamma damage, right? This is what makes Hulk unique in that he can do, through his abilities, gamma clouds. So when you do this and you get someone in that is the positive, negative, the battery sort of effect, where you do something like this, you get all those enemies in those clouds, and then you use, this is the one part where I am going to talk about gear, Pim Infuser, they're going to be taking a lot of damage, right? Because they have the gamma and they're getting the Pim Infuser as well. So that's one way to use, again, the skills as it pertains to the heroic abilities. So keep that type of stuff in mind. There's other things that you can use these abilities to do as opposed to just as attack or using them just for the sake of attacking. Also with the ultimate, you know that he's going to be gaining health as he's sitting in there. So for you guys that want to play more DPS, this can be very useful and very, very important. So you're not only gaining health, the enemies are getting that gamma damage. So utilize that, and like I said, maneuver. If you get in a sticky situation, pop one of those bad boys off. I keep 2 in the chamber here if I can. I get an additional charge for the assault heroic. So don't just use it just for the sake of being assault, utilizing it for support here. Another thing that I think for whatever reason people don't understand with the support heroic he gets armored. So that's why it was always weird. I don't know if people didn't know that, but that's why it was always weird when folks were griping about getting staggered when they would do like the Titanic Fury, which you shouldn't do, by the way, unless you can for sure get it off. You don't do that type of move in crowds. You go from the elbow drop and then you go into the ground pound. It's a faster transition. Nonetheless, people gripe about being staggered with Hulk because it takes a while for some of those power attacks, his most effective power attack in particular, or most effective attack really in general, and he'll get staggered. That's what the support heroic is for. That's why it's built into there where you can get armored up when you pop this thing off. So use the Bone Shaker, which is the support heroic, in a way like that, which complements you. And if you're in like not just a sticky situation, you want to up the ante, a little bit, get a little more aggressive, go ahead, pop one of those things off if you can. Don't just do it just for no reason, but understand that will allow you to get other abilities off. Like I always say, also pay attention to your buffs. If you have damage buffs like I have, which you should, and vulnerability buffs, defense buffs, pay attention to those and adjust your play based upon that. But that's more so what I wanted to discuss here with that. Now, as far as the rage, this is how I have mine generally set up, increasing all my damage while I'm in rage. You can mess around with all of this sort of stuff if you like, but how I use rage is, yes, of course, the unique thing about Hulk is that he can gain health by way of using rage. But I focus more on the intrinsic overcharge. So I'm not using the rage all the time. And as you can see, when he does get in the overcharge, his defensive strength goes up 15% in this regards. So I don't have to use it as much to gain that health back because I'm not taking as much. But right here, this is the most important one. Increases the amount of overcharge intrinsic rage meter energy gain for all attacks. You can also do ones that will, like this is a really good one, right? Takedowns, increasing that as well. But right here, of course, increases all damage. So I'm doing a lot more damage, 20% more. Really, all of these are valuable. Stun boost, status boost, all of these are valuable. But I focus on getting overcharged because if I get overcharged in the way that I play him, I can deal a lot more damage while I'm there. So really, I use the rage in burst. What I mean is that I don't just hold it all the time, which you could do that if you want it. Like there is a deal where, if you're holding rage, you could increase like your attacks and stuff like that. If you wanted to, like right here, increases all damage. You could do that, but I personally don't use it for that. I use it to get me health back when I actually need it. And that's really generally it. So I'm never holding it. I'm almost in intrinsic overcharge. Not all the time, but it's hard to do that. But as much as I can. So keep all those things in mind. We're going to go through some brief gameplay real quick, just so you can kind of see it coming to fruition. I get in these groups, of course, I'm always popping this bad boy off almost immediately. So that's what I'm saying. They get into that. You can go into this, and they're going to be taking a lot more damage because you're getting that charge, rather, there. So, like I said, utilize everything that you have at your disposal. Why is my deal about to die anyway? Let me do this real quick, because I may do this entire thing. Oh, yeah, Bone Shaker. This is a great example of it. So I'm trying to do this stupid thing, right? And I can't because I'm going to get shot as I'm holding it. Obviously, you need to be above, 75% in order to 5-star it. I pop that off, right? So now, in the event that one of these little crackheads shoot me, I don't move. I also have graviton defense, but I'm fine. That's what the Bone Shaker is there for you guys that are complaining about those instances of let's say, getting staggered, because y'all go from that, which you shouldn't do. You shouldn't start doing this if you're in a crowd. I would say jump and then go into the elbow drop like this, and then go to the ground pound. You see, it's a faster transition. Let's go to, I want to make sure we get to another floor so you can kind of see this. But pay attention to my rage. You see, I'm hitting in the overcharge, and that to me is the better focus there. Who else is left here? And of course, this is definitely for you Thor mains out there. This is some of these ideas, of course, are going to transfer over into that, and you can do that. But we're talking about hook mains here mainly. I would say if you can, always get one of those that can do gamma. I just have the plasma right now for the stats. If you do the meteor spin, it's a very useful tool. If you who else is left? Jesus Christ! I'm trying to do a video. And y'all ain't cooperating. Come here. Do as many takedowns as you can. Get the one that I said, and always try to keep those in the chamber. Right? I forgot to mention that in this video. Matter of fact, let me show you guys. So, what is that in? The specialty of the mastery joint? Is this one? Yes. Heroic takedown, performing a takedown spawns a heroic orb, equip it. Trust me on this, get it. And I don't care how low of a health that person is, use that ability. Use that ability to get those heroic orbs. You're getting all of your ultimate, your support, your assault. You're getting that back. Remember, you can get up to 2 with the assault heroic, and that's gonna help you out. See if we can do one more floor of a gameplay walkthrough. Like I said, some of this stuff I cannot do for you, and nobody that's telling you that this is the best build in the game. The build is only as good as you can play to it, you know, and that can be said for any online RPG. So you can have the best stats and the most efficient, let's say, for how that character particularly plays. But in regards to you being effective with it, this is a good one because all enemies have to be defeated. Ride bots, matter of fact, let's go ahead and do that. So the ride bots to me are the most annoying ones on the game right now. So like I said, I have damage. Always pay attention to your buffs. I have a damage buff right now. He's dead. But yeah, just if you can get overcharge, get it. Just use it in bursts. Don't just use it just to use it. Use it in bursts. That way you can get that overcharge. You also gotta learn to dodge, Gohan. All right, let's get Bone Shaker real quick. Got a couple of Dap toys. Also, I have a perk where when I do Bone Shaker, I'm dealing a lot of damage. That guy's out of there, and we cleared that scene. Not a problem. But yeah, if you can get this one that can go gamma, get it, because you'll be surprised how effective it is. Going into the ground pound, and which is what I do. Usually it's just with this particular build that I have, the stats are all jacked up, so I can't really do that. So we have heroic orbs all over the damn place. So, you know, we're gonna get that Bone Shaker right back. So you keep those in the chamber if you're using Hulk, as you can see. And that's why you should play to that. Play like that, rather. Really like this build, man. This new build that we got here. I don't even need to do this. I'm just doing this just to do this at this point. I got heroic orbs all over the place. So wanted to discuss mainly the rage and the heroic stuff and how that helps your gameplay and things to consider when playing as Hulk. I know Hulk is one of the more difficult characters to use for you guys. He's not as flashy, and there's some things that you have to kind of understand in order for him to be effective. But he is, I would argue, when you do understand how to use him and be effective with him, he's probably the most overpowered character on the game. No matter what your stats is, you should for sure build him to be a more of a tank for team play. That's what all of his stuff points to. His gear, his support heroic has taunt for a reason, right? He is a tank. Nonetheless, if you do want to use him as more of a DPS, I mean, he can be extremely overpowered if you know what you're doing. So I just wanted to help you guys out. I'll be doing a bunch of different Hulk videos, and I will try to, if I can remember in the pinned comments, I have a full Reddit post breaking down how to build Hulk as well, and some things to take into consideration. So until next time, y'all be easy. Peace.